Hello and welcome back to Like Maria. I'm at my desk now and I'm going to talk you through how to write up your personal statement for UCAS. In a previous video we've talked about planning, we've talked about the actual sorts of stuff that you want to include, and I'm now going to start actually typing up and giving you some recommendations for the sort of phrasing, but also showing you that this is quite a laborious editing and complex task. So I urge you to perhaps sit along at your computer and kind of walk through with me, or pause from time to time and actually then do your own notes and things. So after this, hopefully you can type up your personal statement just like Maria. So we're going to take an example here of me applying for a degree place on an English literature course. So I'm going to start off with something like I really enjoy reading lots of different types of literature. This might not be my first sentence, but it's somewhere to start. And as those of you who've watched the dummy videos know, I gave a kind of dummy sentence for you to start. So I think it's really important just to put something down, which you can develop later. I'm hoping that you're a quicker typer than me. You might want to look back at the planning video to follow through with me, and I will make that planning document available to you to have a look at, so you can see how the plan evolves into the statement. So I really enjoy reading lots of different types of literature, in particular literature that involves historical contexts. And I'm going to mention here the debate surrounding the monarchy, when Milton was writing. And I'm going to put mid 20th century philosophical movements. And you can see there that I've not spelt monarchy right. There's a typo there. So correct as you go along, but of course you're going to proof a lot. So I'm going to put that I first got interested in this when I was introduced by my teacher to the critical ideas of historical contextual analysis. So I'm framing my ideas here in something that I've heard. I'm showing that I've listened to the teacher. So let's just recap there. I really enjoy reading lots of different types of literature, in particular literature that involves historical context, such as debates surrounding monarchy, when Milton wrote Paradise Lost, and mid-20th century philosophical movements. I first got interested in this when I was introduced by my teacher to the critical ideas of historical contextual analysis. So I'm going to start with, this has led me to choose to write on Milton for my coursework. I researched his various pamphlets that he wrote about monarchy. I'm just going to put pamphlets on monarchy, and started to relate his ideas in Paradise Lost to his ideas about government. So I'm just going to put a few dots in there, just to remind myself that I might want to develop this. I'm going to mention also that I led class discussion on this, and I did a presentation. And I might say perhaps that I also covered this topic in my EPQ. So I'm just going to put EPQ in there while I think of it. Okay, the next section I'm going to talk about my other A-level subjects, and I'm going to start with my other A-level subjects. Support my study. Firstly, historical sources. I'm going to say something about those. And then the French influences on philosophy. And in there I'm also going to say that I'm becoming increasingly fluent in French after having spent a year or a month or so, a holiday in France. So you can see how I'm building up here the skeletons, and I'm going back to correct as I go the skeleton of a outline for my personal statement. Okay. I'm moving on now to go back up here, and I think I'm going to say in a little bit more detail. I've done some reading, some extra reading outside of the classroom. So outside of my lessons here, I have read, and I'm going to fill in, I'm going to go and research that and just find out, I can't remember the author there, and I'm just going to put again the importance of historical context, but just so they don't think I'm obsessed with historical context, I'm also going to mention a little bit of the feminist ideas, maybe looking at a course book that I've done, Frankenstein, and again some psychological or some Freudian ideas in Samuel Beckett's. So I'm going to pop that in there. So you can see I have a section here that is all about my subject knowledge. I'm just going to pop that title in there, subject and course knowledge. Now I also know that one of the courses I'm looking at has a lot to do with Old English in it, and I haven't really done any of that, but I want to let them know that I'm interested in that. And I'm going to put that I've read some Chaucer, but I'm going to show them that I know that this isn't Old English, but I'd be keen to look at Old English. So I'm just going to put that in there, and we'll come back to that. So as you can see, I'm building up here different aspects of my interests, and as I'm putting the thoughts down on the page, I'm beginning to shape them in my head. And you can see how my head is jumping around as well. It's not a very straightforward process, so you do have to take time. This is not a night before. This is several weeks, if not months, before you start getting this sort of stuff down. Okay, down here I'm going to put other stuff. So I'm going to put public speaking and debate. I know I mentioned that I work in a local cafe. I'll come back to that. And a little bit here, I did mention that I enjoy playing flute. Okay, so here and here I've got so I'm just going to bold these up for you. My subject and course, as I suggested in the planning. Then here is my other academic subjects. Let's bold that as well. So this is all your kind of planning that you're putting in. And then personal skills. Now, of course, you'll take these subheadings out. These won't appear in the real thing, but I'm just putting them there to give myself some structure. So you're taking this straight from the planning document. Let's bump that one up. So let's jump down to the local cafe. So I'm going to start, and it's important to vary your style, so try not to start every sentence with I. So I'm going to start here with the phrase working in the local cafe, or in a local cafe sounds better, working in a local cafe. Has given me the opportunity, or the chance, if you want another word, to be part of the community, and has made me realise the importance of clear communication skills. I have been promoted to assistant manager on Saturdays, when it is my responsibility to cash up. Okay, so things like that, you might put them in for the moment. You might take them out depending on your word limit, but I'm putting that in for the moment because I'm quite proud that I've got this responsibility now. And I can also, in fact, I'm going to get rid of cashing up, and I'm going to put to supervise other staff, to supervise and train other staff, because that shows some leadership skills as well as responsibility. So you can put that in there. Okay, personal skills. So coming back to that, I think I put that that I was organised and a good communicator. So I'll put, in order to work on presentation skills, I offered to lead a workshop on Samuel Beckett, and Irish literature for new A-level students. So there again, you're showing that you're quite a generous person, you take the initiative, and you're kind of welcoming and interested in sort of perpetuating the study of the subject. So in order to work on presentation skills, I offered to lead a workshop on Samuel Beckett, an Irish literature for new A-level students. I really enjoyed this as it stimulated lots of discussion, and we were able to research and discover other literature together. Okay, so my public speaking debate now is probably less important, so I could probably bring that down and just put that, move that down a bit, cut that, maybe bring it here, and I'm going to put in addition to this, or after this, success, maybe that might be a good way of putting it. After this success, I joined the Debating Society and have had several triumphs over local teams. Okay, so I'm liking that, the way that's worked up now with the personal skills. I've got to put something perhaps about personal characteristics as well. I'm going to bin the flute for the moment, because I think I've said enough about kind of my independence, but I might bring that in. I'm going to do a little bit about teamwork. I'm going to talk about Duke of Edinburgh down here. And I'm going to say in a recent, to make sure that they know that this is not in year 9 or 10, so I did the route mapping, so I was responsible for setting and leading a route in Snowdonia, and was especially pleased that my group were the only ones not to get lost. And I'm even going to put in a little exclamation mark there. That just shows a little bit of humour, a little bit of voice, a bit of characteristic. Okay, so you can see there we've made a good start today. I've moved from the planning stage into the writing up stage, still organising thoughts, and there's still plenty of room for revision and editing. We need to do a lot of polishing, but for the moment we've made a good start and we're ready to write that up and polish and perfect it in the next video. So well done for today, and hopefully you are now at that stage where you're ready to move on and polish, just like Maria.